Hey guys, this is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with a post-trade video. If you've been around Forex for Noobs for a while, you'll know that I like to do live trade videos. I actually record my screen as I enter a trade, and then I talk you guys through the trade as I'm in it and as I close it out, and then I kind of wrap up the trade. Unfortunately, I was unable to do this week with this trade because I was not at my computer when I took it. So I'm kind of going to do a post-trade video because this was a pretty good trade and made quite a few pips. I want to show you guys the trade, show you guys how I played it and how it worked out. So this was the trade. This is a GBP USD 8-hour chart, by the way, and this is the chart I traded on, the 8-hour chart. This is the trade. So we had a bullish preceding trend. This was the trend. It started at the start of the week. The trend consisted mainly of these two candles. There was a fourth bullish candle here, but this candle wasn't really part of the preceding trend. This candle was more indecision than anything. What happened was the buyers were in control of the market. So buyers took control of the market. They pushed up. Then the buyers hit this area of resistance, this one here. Now this area of resistance is an area where there are sellers grouped. And when the buyers ran into the sellers, they started struggling. They couldn't maintain those highs. They couldn't push up higher. So this was the first true sign of indecision, followed by this one. Now this was a pretty interesting sign of indecision. First of all, because the buyers were able to make a new high. Generally speaking, I don't like seeing the buyers making a new high because that still suggests they're in control of the market. But that being said, even though they made a new high, they couldn't maintain it. They got pushed straight back down to open. And there was a new low made. It was a very, very minor low. But you can see that this wick is slightly lower, so a lower low was made. So that's a good sign, because when sellers make a lower low, it indicates that they're trying to take control of the market. Although this lower low is so small that it's almost insignificant. Then the next candle comes along, this one here. Now this one didn't manage to make a higher high, and it did make a lower low. So this candle here was kind of the first sign that this could turn out to be a good reversal trade. I had a slight problem with this trade, to be honest. The risk reward was kind of off. My entry could have been here at the low of the indecision candle, but that entry is just so close to the close of price that I just would not have been comfortable with that entry. Now the reason for that is I like to see sellers in a reversal trade where I'm trying to take a short reversal trade. I like to see sellers take control of the market. I want to see sellers take control of the market and start pushing price down before I enter. Now, if I were to enter here, it would be too minor a move by the sellers because they only closed up here. They'd only have to drop 9 pips and then I enter the trade. It's just too much of a small move. It doesn't convince me that the sellers have in fact taken control of the market. So I wasn't convinced when that low was broken. But at the same time, had I placed my entry somewhere like down here, so the sellers would have to move all the way down here before I enter the trade, that would convince me that the sellers are now in control of the market. So that would convince me enough that the sellers are in control of the market. But that entry would be too low. The risk reward would be way off, because if I entered here, my stop loss would have to be up here, which I think is roughly a 60 pip stop loss, something like that. And my first target would be down here, which is 40 to 50 pips. So my stop would be bigger than my target, and I just don't like that. So this trade was a little tricky. What ended up happening is it kind of, as you can see, broke down. So it broke the low entry I would have chosen, this entry. It broke this entry, but then it retraced, and it came back up pretty much to the high entry I would have picked, this entry here. So I just waited for this candle to close, and I wasn't really planning on entering this trade anymore. But once this candle closed up here, wait, let me just highlight that candle. Once this candle closed up here next to where my entry would have been, and it closed with a lower low and a lower high, that told me sellers are in control of the market. Sellers are probably going to continue to move down, and now I have a good entry. So I'm able to get in here because sellers have already proved to me that they've taken control of the market. They've proved to me that they've taken control of the market, and they've retraced a little bit, giving me a pretty decent entry, giving me the entry I would have wanted to start with. So that's when I entered the trade. Pretty much when this candle closed up here, I got into this trade, and this is how it played out. I mean, it played out pretty well. My target was roughly 50 to 60 pips. So my target was down here at the support area. Now my target was at the support area because support is a place where there's buyers. So if I'm in short, if I've sold and I run into a group of buyers, I'm going to want to exit part of my position here just to lock in some profits, because I know that there are buyers down here and they could very well turn price around and push it back up. They didn't in this case, but they do sometimes. So I wanted to lock in some profit. So I took 50 pips from my first target. My stop loss, because of that higher entry, managed to be around about 40-ish pips, just up here. I could have made it a little wider, made it 50 pips and targeted 60 pips. Because 50 pips was just my first target, I don't mind having one-to-one risk reward for the first target of the trade, but still I prefer not to. So I kept my stop loss at 40 pips, my first target at 50 pips. Now my second target was quite big. My second target was down here at the next support area, so all the way down here. And that target was hit too. It actually didn't take too long for that target to be hit. I left the trade open overnight, and when I woke up in the morning, the target had almost been hit. So the target was around about 150 pips here. It was just before it hit the support area. So I closed out that second position with 150 pips. So I took 50 pips on the first half, 150 on the second half. I really wish I could have shot this this trade video live, because it was an interesting trade. This is not how I would normally trade. I wouldn't normally wait for this candle here to enter. I would enter as soon as my entry breaks, but I didn't really have an appropriate entry in this trade. So that's why I done things a little differently, and it worked out pretty well. So I hope you guys learned something from this trade video, or from this post-trade video. And if you have any questions about this trade, please just leave a comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link below, go to my blog, and just leave a question on the blog. I'll be happy to answer any questions about this trade, and I'll give you guys a little more information, because this is kind of a strange trade. I don't normally wait for that candle that's highlighted, like I said. So you may have some questions or need some clarification. I'll be happy to answer those questions. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this post-trade video. I got one question for you. Did you like this video? If you did, do me a favor and hit the like button. When you hit the like button, it shows that you liked the video, and it's going to make me want to do more videos because I see people like it. So please hit the like button, tell me you like this video, and please leave a comment. Thanks for watching, guys. See you around the site.